Monday. Hopefully, you're having a good Monday. You had a good, productive weekend. And usually on Mondays, I like to talk a little bit about mindset of an entrepreneur, in our case, for a lot of people watching, a gym owner. And with that mindset comes, being motivated. Right. And Mondays are hard sometimes for some people to get motivated. And so I wanted to make a quick, video lesson, teaching, whatever you want to call it, on the tactics that I use to get motivated on the days that I just am not motivated, right? And you'll hear a lot of, I think, um, strategy, and I like to break things up between strategy and tactics. Strategy is like what you should do and maybe why you should do it. But to me, tactics is how to do it, right? And so there's a lot of strategy and a lot of subject matter, but usually there's not a lot of tactics that follow it up. It's kind of left to you to figure out, right? And so the one of the purposes of me doing these daily lessons um, is to give you the tactics in subject matter or area where it's usually lacking, and there's strategy there, but not a lot of tactics that you can just go out and do, right? And so some subjects like motivation and getting yourself into momentum is harder than others to have a tactical plan, but we're going to tackle that today, right? And so we usually find ourselves motivating other people, right? Whether it's your coaches at your gym, whether it's your clients getting results, your family, whatever it is. We're always putting ourselves last and usually other people first. It's the nature of what we do, right? And so what about the times where we need a little bit of help, where we need that motivation and to keep kicking ass? Because being an entrepreneur is tough, man. It's a tough job. There's ups and downs, and there's times where you're really winning, and there's times where you're really losing, right? And I think that you know in the beginning you're probably losing more than you're winning, and with the goal of sticking with it long enough to where you're winning a lot more than you're losing. But even some of the most successful entrepreneurs that I know still lose, right? It's just less frequently, and the losses they take are usually less impactful on their day to day life, right? So how do we get to that place? And staying motivated along the way is one of the most important, I think, factors to not quitting. Right. And so here's a couple. I'm going to break this down into three things that I think are really important, and three things that you can do if you just don't feel motivated. You wake up and you're like, man, I just am fucking. I don't feel like doing. Man, it's dragging your ass out of bed, not paying attention to your clients or anything like that because you're just kind of not there. Right. Um, let's get to it. What I found with myself is when I wake up and I'm not motivated and I don't want to go, kick ass, it's usually because there's things that I know I have to do that I don't want to do, right? Procrastination, or I've been putting stuff off, or maybe it's not been putting things off, but there's just maybe an uncomfortable conversation I know I need to have, or there is a client that's a huge pain in the ass that I just don't want to train or meet with or whatever. Maybe there's some paperwork or something with an employee or whatever, right? The thing is, like, I just am not really looking forward to this. And maybe there's more than one thing, right? Maybe you have a list of this stuff starting to pile up, and that's what put you in this state of like, I don't really feel like, you know, getting after it today, right? And so there's a saying by, I think it was Mark Twain, I'm not sure, but eat the frog, right? And it's a little bit longer than that, but essentially, um, he would wake up and the first thing he would do is eat a frog because it's absolutely fucking disgusting. So everything that would happen after that would be better, right? And I think that is some wise words to live by where if you can get up and just get the things done that you don't want to do first thing before you do anything else, right? Just get it out of the way. Just fucking all of it, right? Hyperspeed. Do it as quickly as you can, right? So if there's a client that you have an uncomfortable conversation with, fire off that email or give them a call or whatever it is. Get it out of the way. If there's something on your calendar that you don't want to do or whatever, either reschedule it to it being a sooner time so you can just get it out of the way, or cancel it and be like, look, it's not important enough, right? Or whatever it may be, guys. Getting that out of the way, it will relieve the stress that's blocking you from being in momentum, right? Because you're constantly thinking about this stuff. And when you're thinking about shit that you don't want to do, that you're supposed to do, it's impossible to think about the future and growth and the excitement of achieving your dream, right? Because your mindset is somewhere else. So in order to clear your mindset, you just have to eat the frog. You just have to get that shit out of the way as quickly as you can. There's no sense in prolonging it, doing it slowly, and just deal with the aftermath of it. And I can almost guarantee that it's not going to be nearly as problematic as what is in your mind, like what is going to happen as a result of this conversation or as a result of doing this work that you don't want to do. I've put shit off, man, because I didn't want to build some software or something like that. And I was just being lazy about it. And I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to wake up this morning. I'm going to rock it all out. And it took me literally a quarter of the time that I thought it was going to take. And it was way easier than I thought it would be once I got into that routine. And I'm like, man, why did I push this off for a week? I've been thinking about it for a week. I've been just so dumb, right? And so that would be my first suggestion, is write down, put it in list format, the things that you don't want to do, that you have to do, that you've been procrastinating on or whatever. Put it down in list format and make a goal for you, as uncomfortable as it is, to get those things crossed off the list as quickly as humanly possible. Just get it done, right? So the second thing would be to start to give yourself little wins, okay? And these will eventually lead up to bigger wins. But give yourself one goal for the day of something that is of you doing something that puts you closer to that long-term goal, right? It does not have to be open my second location, right? Guys, something small, right? Pick something small. Maybe it's, figure out a new video for the website, right? Maybe you hate the video that's on your website and it sucks, right? And so that's just your one goal for the day. And you can do it at any point in time, but accomplish it, right? Because the difference between doing something new, right? Not something that you normally do every day, but something new, and having accomplished that thing will put you in the mindset of what's the next thing, right? What's the next thing that I could do that will move me closer to my long-term goal, right? So because if you're not in momentum, that means there's no forward progress, right? And if there's no forward progress because you're doing new things, right, then you're either at a stalemate or you're going to start rolling backwards, right, where you're starting to lose progress that you've made in the past. And so what we need to do is we need to stop that, right? And we need to get into momentum by doing small things that are accomplishable. Don't go out there and pick something huge, and then you don't do that thing, and now you're even farther behind because you were too aggressive and you picked a huge goal and you didn't get it done, and now you really feel like a piece of shit, right? Pick something that you can do, even if it's small, even if you feel dumb putting something so modest, but do it, guys, do it, right? I make a to-do list every single day, right? And I copy and paste it from the previous, week or whatever it may be. But, for me, I look at the day and I got 12 different things done by the end of the day, and I feel like I'm in momentum, right? Every single day, even if some of those things are I do them frequently. It's the art of like checking things off, and it's always littered with a couple things that are new, right? And so when I look back at the end of the week, I got 50, 60 things done. It's like, holy shit, and a lot of them I was going to do anyways. And so are you. You're doing them. You just don't have it in a format of which you're checking it off. So it feels subjectively, it feels like you're not doing anything. But if you put that into a list form and cross those things off, whether it's on your computer or paper, now you have an objective perspective on what you did this week, and it will tell a different story than how you feel, right? It'll show you that you did all this stuff, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is surround yourself with people who are kicking ass, right? Whether that's getting into a community of people that are kicking ass, whether it is getting into a new program where you're being coached by somebody who's fired up and motivated and in momentum and kicking ass, whatever it is, guys, it's contagious. People, it is really, really hard to not be thinking about kicking ass and crushing it when you're in a room with 5 other people and they're all fired up about life and they're all excited about kicking ass and getting after it. It's really hard to be the, tire kicker, unmotivated person sitting in the corner, because those kinds of people just won't allow it. They'll engage you. They'll challenge you. They'll make you think, right? And so find your people, right? If you're gym owners, there's places you can go where there's other entrepreneurs that are kicking ass and they're excited and they're trying new things and there's new life at their gym, and some of that stuff's going to rub off on you, right? And vice versa. If you're in a group of freaking losers that are just complaining about, whatever they can complain about, nothing that's even important, right? And they're watching the news and bitching about the world and nothing they can control, nothing that's in their hands. Guys, get out of that. Get out of that environment, right? Get out of that group. Right? It's doing nothing but detracting you and putting you in a negative mindset, right? And there's people that rely on you to be the best version of yourself all the time. And that's a daunting task, but is what you signed up for. When you decided that you wanted to be a gym owner and you wanted to scale your business, you signed up to helping other people outside of yourself. Lots of people don't have that obligation. The person bitching about the weather, bitching about the news, they maybe only have to worry about themselves. Right? We have to worry about our clients. We have to show up for our employees. We have to show up for our family at the end of the day when we're tired as shit, right? And so you have to put yourself in the position to win, right? And that's surrounding yourself with other winners that don't take any excuses. They're not blaming other people. They're not making, you know what I mean? Like they are just, and that'll rub off on you, right? And so those 3 things, any one of them can get you back into momentum. Right, you do all 3 of them, man. You're not going the wrong way anymore. Now we're moving forward at high speed, right? And so I hope that helps create a tactical plan if you find yourself out of momentum. And some of those things, what do they all have in common? Work, and they're uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable to have a lot of conversations or do a lot of things that you don't want to do back to back first thing in the morning. It's not comfortable, right? The second thing is it requires a lot of work. You have to go out and find that group. You have to make that investment. You have to connect with that person, or you have to write down a list of things, right? And you have to do shit. You have to do something. All of those things require effort and getting out of your comfort zone, right? The alternative is just don't be an entrepreneur, right? Then just quit. If you're not willing to do the things that you need to do, then this isn't the game you should be playing, right? There's a reason why you're not in momentum, right? But you guys, a lot of the people watching this, I fucking know, you're exactly where you should be, right? And every now and then we naturally, because we're humans, fall out of momentum, get in tough times, and this tactical advice should hopefully help you if you take action and you do it, get right back on the horse and maybe to new places that you've never been, and maybe you can share this with other people as you continue to grow. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy Mondays to watch this. Tomorrow I will be back at it with something else. Usually on Tuesdays we're talking about lead generation, lead nurture, something like that. So if you're interested in lead gen or lead nurture, check me out tomorrow. I'll be live in the group. And until then, kick ass, guys, and I'll see you then.